Hello Virgo, this is your extended reading. So the cards here are showing me actually how much you know, or the story of this person, this influencer, this friend, this relative, whoever this Knight of Wands from the first part is for you, this inspiring person who is sharing tips and tricks to do this, to motivate you to do this cleanse. I feel like it's like, even though perhaps you don't know them personally, it's like there's a lot that you know about how this process of cleansing helped them achieve this very successful, and it's like just how it affected them for the good, how it changed them into wanting to share it, right? Because I feel like this is, well, the interesting thing is that whoever this person is, right, they are telling their story and how they were motivated by someone else that inspired them, that did the same thing. And it's like tweaking things that they learned from another into applying it to their own situation. And it's like this retelling of a story, and it's just so beautiful because it's like coming through as this net of just knowledge and sharing tips, right? Just for the benefit of really, even though like these people don't know you and you don't know them, it's like you are being affected because of how they were affected, right, by this other. So it's like this chain influence, right? It's these really good well, I was going to say process, but it's more like the decision to incorporate it to, or test it out, right? To incorporate to your routine, or to simply give it a go and see how it works for you. Because I feel like it's this happening that, even if it's someone that perhaps it's like a brother or a sister that told you, oh, why didn't you do this, or why didn't you use this or that product, or why don't you just set the mood with a song, or I don't know, however it is, it's like they are influencing you for the good because they were influenced for the good by another, right? So it's just this beautiful weaving net that is being built, for good, for, it's like sharing goodness, sharing good tips and tricks that worked for them, that now you're testing out and you're seeing how refreshing it is, how good it is to give it a go at least. So it's not only that you are inspired by their story, it's like you were inspired by the results that you had, and by seeing the results that they had because they saw the results of another person, right? So it's beautiful. It's like this really, it's like a community of goodness, of just good people sharing goodness. So we begin actually with this Page of Swords, which I already want to read together with this next card, which is the King of Swords. So right away, I was, very sure of who these characters were, because it's almost like this extended, none of the cards are you, Virgo. It's like this part of the reading is talking about how you're finding inspiration in listening to their story, or watching their videos, or just following them on social media, or whatever it is. It's like you are seeing how they have dealt with it, or how the process went with them, right? And so these Page and King of Swords are the process of like becoming aware, I want to say, of this Knight of Wands. So for you, it's almost like they are a really good communicator. They are a person that with their example, with their speech, with their teachings, they are able to set fire on you, but in a good way, right? Not to burn you down, but to motivate you. So this is a person that you are finding that is not so far away from you, right? Because you are a page, the Page of Cups, you know, with this very innocent heart. And they're coming through as the Knight. So it's not someone that is, you know, in another level than you. It's just, it's like they feel like a close friend, even though I feel from here that you don't have, you know, this intimate contact. So here they are telling their story of how they went from the Page to the King. And this is, it's like, I feel like if they are an influencer, it's like they are not afraid, or it's like they're not holding on to anything. It's like they're telling everything. They are sharing every part of the process for them, of how they matured from the Page into the King and how they grew with this process. And so they're telling every bit. So you know, in receiving the tips and tricks, it's like you are not only receiving these precious gems, right, for how to apply it in your life and how to renew yourself, feel refreshed, right? Feel like you can replace whatever you got rid of, right? And open space with things and emotions and just, you know, perhaps even, you know, objects, physical objects with that are meaningful, right? And so they are telling this story, and by doing so, you are picking up what matters for you. And this is really beautiful because I feel like their story is of success overall, right? It's like they're not keeping anything from their audience, in a sense, or from whoever is listening, right? If it's just a one-on-one conversation, if this is a person that you really know in your real life, in a sense, it's like they're telling the story of how they made it, right? Because we have the Nine of Cups here. It's like in this process they found fulfillment. So they were also organizing their emotions. It's part of their process. It's how they dealt with it. For you, Virgo, I feel like it includes physical decluttering because of the Four of Pentacles that we saw, and with the Ace of Pentacles too. But for them, it's like the story that they went through, it's like this was much more internal, much more emotional for them. Well, any kind of decluttering, right, brings up perhaps, you know, old memories, right? If we think of, you know, just finding things that you didn't remember that you kept, it's emotional in itself, but it's like they are just highlighting that fact, right? That in doing this process, in finding more awareness of how this went for them, it's like they felt like they were, it's like they were reaching their dreams, in a sense, or they were it's like sorting out their emotions through the process, right? And how fulfilling that felt, right? When they were fully aware of everything that was going on, especially because, you know, they're coming through as swords, and, you know, perhaps you perceive them as a really good communicator, like a good speaker, right? A motivational character, right? Whether they are a motivational speaker or not, it's like they are just good in inspiring people with their presence, with their energy, but also with their voice, with their ability to communicate that. And so in their process of communicating that they are highlighting the fact that they achieved their dreams. They found fulfillment in becoming aware of what was going on, and also in retelling it, right? Because when we tell something, or when we relive certain moment of our lives, or an intense emotional experience, it's like we tend to go back to that experience. And so they are just pointing out that it is an intensely emotional process, right? But because we have these cards that actually fell together, the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, and actually we only have Pentacles ending this extended. But the interesting thing, because they came together, is that what they are telling of how their process, right, the process of decluttering or cleansing of this King of Wands that is inspiring to you, it's like they are telling that it was intense, it was emotional, it was good to have clarity of their own emotions, of how this process just stirred up a lot of emotions, but also organized these emotions, so it gave clarity about the feelings that were coming up with this process. But also what they're highlighting is like they're giving credit actually of perhaps an important person to them, or a mentor, or somebody that inspired them to go through this process. And so it's like they are, although they are coming through as perhaps an authority, right? They are a reference, at least to you, Virgo. In your mind, they are a reference. They are an inspiration. They know well enough that this knowledge that came through was only thanks to this person. So they're not receiving any credit for them. It's like they are giving the rightful credit to whoever inspired them, which is this person. So it's like the same person, okay? So the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles is the same thing that they are doing with you, right? In retelling or reliving the experience of going through this process of cleansing and becoming clear of how this cleanse was helping them sort out their emotions and their mind, and becoming aware of it all along. It's like they also heard this person tell their story, which it's the dynamic is the same, right? But the story is different. So their story is a different one because they're coming through as the sword suit, and this one who inspired them perhaps is an even more practical person, right? Perhaps the journey of this Knight of Wands, turned into Page and King of Swords, it's like it was more, as I said, more internal one, right? This more emotional cleansing. And the inspiration behind this cleansing for them perhaps had a more physical root, or how this person learned or found the motivation to go on their own cleansing was because of this person that actually they saw doing this physical declutter, right? Because we have the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, and so it's all pentacles from here. And I feel like the reason why this is all coming through for you in the extended, Virgo, is because you are doing both. You are doing both the emotional work and also the physical cleansing. So it's like it's in two fronts, because it's like you're receiving the best of both worlds. It's like tips and tricks from this person that is your direct inspiration, and the person that inspired this influencer that now you're following or just receiving guidance from. You see what I mean? So okay, there is a little bit of information here coming from all these pentacle cards. Somehow this is coming through as, yes, physical, like a physical reorganization of the house, just decluttering stuff, right? This is their process of finding growth, right? Or finding maturity. This is how they inspired the one that is inspiring you. But it's more than that. It's the ability that you have, Virgo, to just pick up the good things that you're getting from this person and then from the person that inspired them. It's like you are very attentive, I want to say, and you are applying it to these two aspects, right? The physical side and the emotional side. For the physical aspect, because we have the 10 and then the 8, what I'm sensing here is that, so we have 5 and 5, and then here we have 5, but also another 5. So this is, you know, it's just my way of seeing and communicating with the cards, but the beautiful thing about them being side by side is that, to me, is very clear that whatever is very distinct, right? One perspective and then another perspective, right? You see what I mean? It's like you're observing and listening and paying attention to the story that these two people, you know, the one that you already followed perhaps, and then this other person that influenced them. It's like you are listening both. And it's like from each one of these perspectives, you are making your own. It's like you're merging the two to work with what works best for you. It's like you are, you know, applying it. It's like these tips and tricks, right, that we saw with the Two of Swords. It's like they got to you first through this Knight of Wands, but in digging further, it's like in discovering how they went through this, right? It's like you found the story of this other person, right? And how they were much more practical, in the sense that their decluttering was perhaps even financial, but you know, just much more concrete than this one that you saw this this process at play first, right? And so it's like you are joining forces in a sense, but this is all you. This is your ability to it's like this is the jewel. This is the precious ability that you have, the gift that you're receiving, that I want to say. It's like just the realization, Virgo, that you hold a gift of turning things into practical decisions that will be incorporated to your day-to-day, perhaps even to your workspace, right? But it's like all encompassing. It's like throughout the day, right? And how you're applying it in a way that really fits you, fits your routine, fits your activities, your daily tasks, and in a way that doesn't feel separated, or doesn't feel like this comes from this person and this comes from this person. It's like you are, what is the word? I can only think of incorporating, but there's another word. I feel like it's coming through, but okay, yeah, adapting. You are adapting what you're learning from an external source that perhaps doesn't even know you, right? But you are taking that as a very rich source of information on how to declutter, but how to make it work for you, right? So Virgo, after all of that, let's see what the astrological runes have to add as a final guidance for you. Let's see. This is interesting. Okay, so we have Taurus. Actually, Taurus came through yesterday for Leo. So, but you know, Taurus is a fellow earth sign, just as you are. So I feel like this process of cleansing is something that is going to stick with you. It's just talking about incorporation. That's the thing. It's this word is coming through very strongly. It's like you are incorporating a habit that includes opening up space, you know, internally, emotionally, but also physically. And this is helping you to see, well, that's the thing, right? You're seeing the value of this gift that you're receiving even from a person that doesn't know you. And that's the beauty of it. It's like that's actually the beauty of it. You are transforming something into you know, receiving information or receiving tips and turning it into a precious jewel, something that you will take with you throughout your life, throughout your day, in a way that helps you to see the value in, you know, the space that you're opening up, but also how you can refill it with things that are meaningful and valuable, right? Taurus is a sign that knows the worth of things. It's like they know how to value themselves, and they know, they appreciate things that are valuable, right? So I feel like this is the process that you're going through right now. It's like you are really making way, you know, in your life for things that are meaningful. And you're doing so through this learning process of, you know, listening to somebody tell their story and picking up the things that you can use for yourself, and then how they were inspired by another person. And when you go and listen to their that story, it's like you pick another thing that works for you. And so, and you're doing so with such constancy, such consistency. It's like, this is so beautiful. It's like I feel like you're really, it's like you're valuing your life, you're valuing your day-to-day, you're valuing the objects that you keep with you, right? And even you're valuing like the open space to receive new things, or to build new things, or to grow, right? So this is so amazing. I love this reading. It's actually so relaxing and so allows me to breathe, really. So thank you so much, Virgo, for being here with me. I hope this was insightful, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.